In the process of understanding who is an adhikari, adhikari, eligible person, qualified person. Qualified for what? For the knowledge of ultimate reality. That is going to give me the freedom. Who says I am looking for this ultimate freedom? Well, nobody needs to say. Our behavior, the way our mind works, the things that we do whole life, all our pursuits, all our running afters, the entire life talks about what we are looking for, and we are looking for always freedom, 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 because ultimately we are looking for the ultimate freedom. And that freedom is possible through knowledge, and that is the knowledge of the reality. How do you say this knowledge is going to give me this freedom? We'll understand as we go. The more we look into the qualification, the more we understand about that knowledge and the reality, and also how the knowledge of that reality is going to give me the freedom. The more we progress, all this is going to become very clear. While talking about qualification, we discussed three things every mind has. It's a universal phenomenon, and that's why we see this world. So there is malam, impurity in our minds. Because of that, there is a projection of untruth, an unreal world, a untrue world. And that untrue world covers the truth, conceals the truth. And that's how we are in bondage. The moment we discover that knowledge, the moment we uncover that knowledge, we will be free. How do you then deal with this impurity of mind? How do you make the mind pure? And how do you deal with this projection, the projection of an untrue world? Because that makes you qualified for this knowledge. Then there is the whole process of knowledge you have to go through to get to the truth. So this is the path. There are a few things that we could do to deal with the malam, the impurity of mind. Few things to deal with the vikshepa, the projection, so that we are that person who is ready now. Malam, the impurity of mind, is not something that can be seen. Nobody can see another's mind. It's only inferred through their actions, through their behavior, through their presentation of themselves. We can only infer what kind of mind they have, what all traits they have. The purification of mind can happen through few things. One of them is nishkama karma anusthana. I'll explain. Every Sanskrit word I'll explain. That's the promise. That has been the promise since the beginning. If I miss some, let me know in the comment section. Nishkama karma anusthana. Anusthana means performing. Nishkama karma. So karma, actions, so performing actions, nishkama. What type of action you need to perform? Nishkama. Kama, nishkama. Sakama, nishkama. With desire, without any desire. We need to be very careful here. Without desire, no karma, no action is even possible. Without having a particular desire, you won't even move. Every movement, every action has a desire behind it, a goal in mind, a result in mind. I study, my entire action of study is because I have the desire to get a good job. That's the result of my action. And without that result of action in mind, I won't even do it properly, I won't even work. So in that way, no action is there, no karma is there which you can perform without kama, desire. Then how come Shastra is saying then how come acharyas are saying, then how come Bhagavan is saying that you need to do nishkama karma, action without any desire? Let's understand the technicalities behind it. Nishkama karma is not a type of karma, it is not a type of action, it is action with certain understanding, with certain attitude. When you do the action with that understanding, with that attitude, that becomes nishkama karma. You cannot have an action without any desire. But when you do the same actions, when you do with a particular attitude, with a particular understanding, with a particular frame of mind, that same actions, those very actions become nishkama karma. And this nishkama karma, when you do your actions with this particular attitude, what will happen? The mind will become pure. Impurity, we are dealing with impurity, malam. So impurity, malam, will go with nishkama karma. This is one way. There are other things we will discuss further. And what is the attitude that you need to have? What is the understanding that you need to have? The understanding is very simple. Any action when I perform, so I take everything into account, I do my best, I do all the research that is necessary to perfectly do the actions. There is a result in mind, there is a desire in me, I take everything into account, how to do the action in the best way possible. But then when the time comes for the result, this is what I need to understand. When the time comes for the result, there can be 4 types of results to every karma, every action we do. 4 types of results. The result can be exactly what we expected. It could be exactly opposite to what we expected. It could be little less than what we expected. It could be more than what we expected. More is not a problem, exact is not a problem. The problem comes with reference to less and opposite. With reference to the result, I train myself to take it equally, accept it equally. I should mentally train myself to accept the negative result or the less result the same way. So having this understanding that the result of the action is not going to just depend on what I did right now, but it can be affected by so many other factors. There are karma from the previous lives. There are so many other unseen factors. I'm pretty sure in your life you have had an experience where you did everything possible. There was no way you should have failed in that, but the expected result was not there for you. And there are occasions where you must have seen you didn't do much, but the result was there. In fact, more was there. How? Where does it come? What is the supporting factor for this? So the unseen factors are there always to impact, to influence, to affect my karma. It's not only what I do today, but it also is influenced by so many other factors, unseen factors. The more we come to Shastra, we know about them. There is intervention of the supernatural powers. That means having done my karma with due diligence, with seriousness, taking everything into account, gathering all the informations, doing all the researches, having done the karma with all this, there is a chance I might even fail. There is a chance the result might not come to me, the result that I expect. The result could be any way. So then the question is it intelligent to hold on to one result and perform your action? Put your everything into one action for one result. Shastras say the more attachment you have to that one particular result, that will create all kind of emotions in you. The emotions when you are trying, the anxieties of failure, the worries, the fear. Life is nothing but goals, long-term goals, short-term goals, even short-term goals that are tied to get to a long-term goal. And each time there is a chance of failure, there is a chance of success, there is a chance of getting more than what you expected, there is a chance of getting less than what you expected, and all of these things create emotions, and they are your mind. Life after life, somebody gives us goals, somebody creates goals for us, the society creates goals for us, parents create goals for us, family, everybody else other than me, actually everybody else decides a goal for me and I have to get to it. I put my whole into getting to that goal. In the process I go through various emotions. So you can understand the mala, the impurity. What Shastras say is, the less attachment you have to just one result of every action, whenever you do an action, the less attachment you have to the result of the action, the more you are free from emotions. You will still do the job, you will still do the work, you will do everything that is necessary to get to that goal, to get to that result, to get that success. But if that is not there, because you are not holding on to that one result, because you have a understanding that it could be anything, I am doing my best but it could be anything, then there is a less chance of getting into the emotional turmoil. So you have a clearer mind, you have a thinking mind, you have a healthy mind, you have a mind free from unnecessary negative emotions, negative traits. In the process, something got blocked, you get angry. In the process, somebody came on the way, you get angry. In the process, somebody didn't help you, you get depressed. In the process, your mind entertains a chance of failure, then you are depressed. Karma only creates emotions. Actions only create emotions, but how? Not actions by themselves, but the result of the action, the attachment to the result of the action. How much I am bound to that particular result of the action, they have the remote control. Even a fear of not getting to the result, people do drastic things, compromisations, manipulations, shortcuts, adharma, unrighteous ways, all because of a strong attachment to that result. I have to get this. Once you say I have to get this as a result of my action, then you are putting yourself into the hands of emotions. They will control you. So the nishkama karma, the attitude, the understanding that I don't have to be attached to the result, I don't have to have one result in mind, I can entertain the possibility of anything coming to me as the result of my action. And how that is beautifully done, we will see in the next video. How in the culture, some cultures have this attitude built in certain actions, this understanding is there. Part of our life, certain things we do where we have this attitude, we have this understanding. Those practices were meant to percolate the same understanding into all other actions, but they kind of stayed away. They got limited to only those practices. We will look into what are those practices. Mala, the impurity of mind. There are many ways we can deal with it. We can make our mind pure. One of the ways is nishkama karma, which means doing actions with a certain understanding, with a certain attitude. An attitude born out of such an understanding actually. What is the understanding? The understanding is, even though I start an action thinking about a result, taking a goal in mind, keeping a goal in mind, I am actually not doing my action for that. So it's a very interesting attitude. I do have the result in mind, but I understand that the result could be anything. And then we are discussing the technicalities, how that attitude, how that nishkama karma, how doing actions with a certain understanding, with a certain attitude born out of understanding will help me. We are understanding those technicalities, and we will see, we will look at certain practices we have been doing to have this attitude.